Welcome. I'm Andy Barkworth, and I'll be doing some Kung Fu with you today. We're going to call it Kung Fu Fit, as our purpose will be more on mobility and flexibility and the fitness aspect of Kung Fu training, where actual self-defense and combat training is really more appropriate in person. So we're going to be focusing on body movement, and we're going to start slow and easy, comparably anyway, and I encourage you to take it at your own pace. So I'd like you to join with me in some Kung Fu practice. If you have a nice open space, wonderful. If you need to, just make some adjustments in your room, I'll give you a few minutes for that. And just make sure there's nothing to trip on. We'll move a little bit to the sides and forward and back. And if you can't participate at that way, then stepping in place or shortening your step or just pausing for a moment. And on that note, if we're doing an exercise and you've had enough, then pay attention to the wisdom of your body and exercise patience. Take some time, take a pause, and give yourself time to build this up. So this isn't something that happens overnight, but we also can gain immediate benefit through the exercises. And if this level of practice is too much for you at this time, your level of fitness, where you are, if you're in distress or whatever's going on in life, you might find that you'll want to try my Tuesday morning Tai Chi Gong or watch some of the videos I have on my channel or some of the live classes that I'll be sharing, along with meditation on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. And this is all Arizona time. So here it is Thursday morning, 8 a.m. And let's go ahead and get into it. Just grab your spot. Just make sure you have room around you, nothing to fall onto, and just take it at the range and level that's right for your body. And in our practice, this is a system called 7 Circles Kung Fu. And it's based on Southern Northern Wushu and Wukong and Shaolin traditions. And this is a system that my teacher, Grandmaster Umar Sharif, founded and developed from his teachings from Grandmaster Alan Lee. And so I'd like to share that with you today. And let's begin. We're just going to take a moment to connect with our body to the earth through the feet, through the sensations of the legs holding us up. And just imagine the spine elongating, lengthening the back, the crown of your head reaching to the sky. Adjusting breath, readying our system. Exhale, squeeze the breath out, filling from the belly up. Empty from the chest down. Gather the breath. Breath is the most important thing of all the things that we'll be doing. Release the breath. Gather once again. The universal sound of relief. And just let it all go. Take a moment to tune in to what we're doing, what we're up to. Granted that we are safe enough and we have the time to commit to what we're up to. So being that we are here, we commit ourselves fully to what we're engaging in. And we're always free to take it at the level that's right for us, to take it or leave it, to take a pass on things that don't feel right to you at this time, the things that may be beyond your level of fitness or ability. So let's begin. I am here. I am here, and they are here with me. I am here in this place. I am here in this body. I am here in this heart. I am here with this mind, in this awareness. I am here in this moment with these intentions. And in this process and journey, every day in every way, we are growing healthier, stronger, better, and wiser. So let's activate the body. One of my favorites, chi up. We're going to clap the hands together a few times. Rub the hands together. Breathe into the belly. You might notice if you've done some of my other videos and training that some of these exercises will be familiar, as Qigong is really the foundation of martial arts and the Chinese traditions. This is at the root of our practice. This is for longevity, for health, for potentiating energy. And just let that all settle. Clasping the hands behind the back, one into the other. And it's up to you which one ever feels most natural. And we're going to put the hands into lower back and lift one heel off the ground and then kind of step into it. Other heel off the ground and step into it. And we're just going to kind of build up the body a little bit. Activate blood flow, lubricate joints. And what we would say is get your chi flowing, get your energy flowing. Breathe into the belly. And some of these exercises, if it's brand new, just take it slow and easy and really listen to your body. What feels right to me? Is this the right level of practice for me? And how much is right for me today? Maybe you can do part of it and not all of it. If we're doing many repetitions, maybe you do a handful and take a break. So always free to make this right for you. Just pumping the heels, the balls of the feet, side to side, and slow it down. Let the feet rest and relax the arms. Hands on the hips, moving side to side, and just getting a feel into the body. How far is far enough? What's my range of motion today? How energized do I feel? Do I feel like I have the energy to do something like this? Maybe I'm slowly building myself back up. I always take it in the way that's right for me. Make a circle in the air with your hips. Press your hips and pelvis forward. Might be light and easy, might be full range of motion. Then the butt go back and the hip go to the side. Drawing a circle in the air with the hips. And there's no need to go fast with this one. When you're ready to, slow it down and reverse the circle. Breathe into the belly. And just let it all come to the center. Shaking the branches of the tree, shaking the arms. I want to loosen up and let go of tension and stress. And if you had stuff going on in the body where you need to be a little more deliberate and slow, anything that we end up doing at a faster pace, you could always slow it down. And bounce into the knees gently if that feels good in the body. Always be mindful of our spine, our joints, our heart, our breath. And trunk twisting, head and eyes looking forward, twisting side to side. You might find in the beginning you're moving from the waist and from the hips, from the core. And then over time, we want to feel this connection to the earth, that I'm pushing from one foot to the other. And as I push, it turns and twists my body. Instead of leaning into it and actually pushing myself over, I keep it right into the center, so it travels up my spine to my arms. You can begin bending the elbows and lightly tapping the body. If that feels right to you, I want to relax my shoulders and just let my arms swing. I want to generate the energy and the movement from my full body rather than just my arms. Breathe into the belly, pushing from one foot to the other, allowing it to spiral up the body, out to the arms. The more energy I put into it, the more vigorous I move, the higher my arms swing. If I move more relaxed and easy, my arms will drop because I'm not lifting with my shoulders, I'm turning from my body. And let that settle. Hands out in front, opening and closing the hands, palms facing one another. Ideally, you'll be able to hold your arms up, but if you need to, you can bring them down. This is where you want to eventually be. Sometimes I'll do this in the car. And you might need to go really slow and easy, but I really want to open up the fingers all the way and then close into a tight fist. So where if you've joined me for Tai Chi and Qigong, there are times where we'll tensen the muscles and we'll squeeze and release. And in this, we're looking to be a little more vigorous with our action. So all the way open, all the way closed, all the way open, all the way closed. Only as fast as you can do it correctly. We don't want to end up in just, barely doing it, right? Even if I need to really slow it down. Breathe into the belly. You might let your body bounce a little bit. Palms facing down. I want to have explosive power going out to my fingertips and a tight grip. Breathe into the belly. Palms facing up. All the way open, all the way closed. If you find yourself going halfway, slow it down. Slow and accurate becomes fast and powerful. All right, so it's okay if we slow it down. Arms out to the side, palms forward. Breathe into the belly. Palms facing down. Palms facing up. Taking us through it pretty quickly. I could do this for much longer periods of time. Here comes the sweet ones. Arms up, palms in. Breathe into the belly. All the way open, all the way closed. Even if you have to slow it down. Palms forward. Feel it in your arms, but breathe into it. Palms facing back. Here's the great one. All the way open, all the way closed, even if you have to slow it down. Let the arms release, palms behind, palms facing each other. Breathe into the belly. Palms facing forward. All the way open, all the way closed, and palms facing back. And let it release and gathering the breath. Exhale. Inhale, lift from the earth up. Filling the belly up to the chest, empty from the chest down into the belly. Gather the breath and let it go. Maximizing our respiratory capacity, controlling the breath. And release. Shake it out. You might rub your arms a little bit. Shake it out a little bit. Shake a leg. Step in place. All right. And just begin rolling the shoulders forward, up and back. Go ahead and let your legs and your spine, your body get into it. Rolling the shoulders. Rolling them back. And then rolling forward, coming back, up and over and down. Let your body get into it. Breathe into the belly. And for these next sets of exercises, just be mindful of your joints, your body, and slow it down if you need to, or skip it, or modify it to make it right for you. And feet, this is our natural stance. Sometimes we'll call open leg, with the feet are directly under the hips and maybe as wide as the shoulders, somewhere in there, what feels right to your body. Some people like to be a little more wide, a little more narrow, but not too wide, not too narrow. Be able to swing my arms and make contact with my legs a little bit. Okay. And go ahead and put one hand on the belly for the moment. And just begin to twist side to side. Relax your arm. And let your arm swing forward and back. Only as far as you can. That feels good to your body. Just continue to open up the shoulders. And notice that my whole body's into it. My arm is moving because I'm twisting my body. Once I initially lift it up and drop it, I let this natural motion take place, just like you're walking. Your arms just naturally swing. And let it go. Other hand. So begin to twist. Might have to use some muscle to get my arm moving initially. Now I'm going to use my whole body. And my arm only goes as far up and as far back and forward as I can move and twist naturally. So yours might not be in that full range of movement just yet. And relax. So now we're going to put them together and just start twisting side to side. Let the arms move. You might be more gentle and easy, almost like you're walking down the street. Just naturally bending the knees a little bit side to side and pumping and twisting. And then go ahead and let your front palm turn up and your back palm turn down. Should be a natural internal and external rotation in the shoulders, which you'll feel as you move, especially the higher up you go. Breathe into the belly. My arms shouldn't get tired because my arms aren't really working. They're along for the ride. I'm twisting and moving my body. Breathe into the belly. And then let it go. So once I stop twisting, my arms just flip-flop till they run out of steam. Just staying nice and relaxed. Good. So this idea of relaxation isn't like a wet noodle or pudding. We actually want to have some substance, but we don't want to have bracing. We don't want unnecessary tension unless we're actually engaging in something that requires muscle tension. Okay, one more just to get the body connected. And turn to one side, let one arm come out in front and the other arm come out behind. Notice that my hips and shoulders have turned to the side, and then I bring it to the center, let my palms face one another as I'm squared off or to the front, and then I turn to the other side and one hand comes down in the front, the other goes down behind. And as I come down, I turn to the center, squared off, palms facing each other, opposite sides of my legs, and as I turn, I move up, both hands coming up together. I turn to the center, palms face each other. Turn to the side, arms come down together. Turn to the side or center and then to the side, and only as fast as you can do that correctly. And again, as I put motion into it, I'm using my body twisting to generate the energy and relax. That might have been hard to follow, that's okay. Your body will catch on in time. Now turning to the other side, one arm comes up in the front, the other comes to the side, to the back and up. Turn to the center, palms facing one another. Turn to the side, arms come down together. Turn to the center, palms face each other. Turn to the side and lift up in front and back. Center, palms face above the head. Turn to the side, arms come down together. Turn to the side, I'm in the center. And then rise up, turn to the side, center, and down. Breathe into the belly, center, and up. Only as fast as you can do it correctly. So if you need to keep it slow and easy, until you have momentum, you will be using your arms, the muscles a little bit more. Once you get the hang of it, you can let momentum take over. So go ahead and relax. Hands on the hips. Shift the weight. Turn from the hips, toe turns out. Shift the weight onto the front leg. Let your back heel turn back. This is what we call a bow and arrow stance. And it's a fairly high bow and arrow stance where sometimes you'll see it like yoga uses a warrior pose, and in Kung Fu, this would be more like a lunging bow where the arrow is really back there and the bow in the front is really bent. We're going to kind of be in between. Give you a view of that. My feet aren't in the same line. There's a little gap between them, so I'm stable and I have length. And then I'm going to ride the stance back, sitting back. Ride the stance forward, sitting forward. I'm bending my front knee. My weight's more to the front, sometimes called a 70-30 or 60-40 stance. I sit onto the arrow. I sit back, stay upright. I push off the back leg and ride the stance forward. Weights to the front. Breathe into the belly, riding back and forth. And I just want to make sure that that back leg, that the toes turned in enough that I can bend that knee. If my toes facing the screen and my other toes facing to the side, then I'm on the side of my hip and joints. So I want to turn that in so I can comfortably sit back, comfortably move forward. And we're going to be focusing on health and fitness and longevity, things that'll be good for my body over time. There are things that we'll do in martial arts training, that conditioning and different things that might not necessarily be good for our health or might not necessarily be safe, where there's more risk of injury. So we won't be doing that kind of stuff here. We're going to be about getting into the body, having greater self-control, body connection and mastery. And then sit back, toe turns in, changing direction. Find myself in the middle for a moment. Both my toes are turned in, but yours might not be. And it's like you're skiing and snow plowing. You're trying to slow down. So both toes are turned in. Then I sit to the direction I just came from and turn the hips like a handle. Let my toe turn out. Using my whole body to connect and move as one. Then I bend the front knee, and if my back toe didn't turn far enough in, I let my heel slide back or let my toe turn in. Again, this is a great move, but it minimizes our level of mobility. So if we bring that arrow in a little bit closer, now we have greater mobility, easier to get from one leg to the other. Riding the stance, sitting back, body upright, pressing forward, bend the front knee, riding the stance back and forth. Breathe into the belly. And get the arms into it, and let the arms come forward, and then the arms come back. Notice that my spine and back is nice and upright. And I'm riding my body, pressing forward, bending the front knee. I'm in the arrow, 70-30 or 60-40 if I'm not quite all the way forward. I won't want to bring my knee past my big toe. I can do that in stretching and flexibility, and some movements will require that, but I don't want to do that too much too often or repetitively, because that'll wear out my joint prematurely. So I want to stay in a good range of movement. I check my back leg that I can bend my knee, right? So almost like I'm getting ready to run. We're going into a lunge. So I want to exercise good awareness of my body and always listen. Have I had enough? Is this maybe too much? Take it in smaller bites. And now sit back, toe turns in. Shift the weight, toe turns out. We're going to keep the weight back. And if you don't, general idea is closer the feet are together, the easier the movements, less demand on the muscles and the joints. So if you're working through something, you might tighten it up a little bit and take some of the strain off. If you feel good and you're ready, go ahead and bend forward. You can rest your hands on your knees. I'm sitting onto the back leg. My front leg is straight. And then I'm going to reach down and maybe only stay right here. Maybe I get down towards my shin or my ankle. Maybe I can reach my toe. Allow my opposite arm to support me a little bit. Breathe into the belly, stretch my leg. Then bend the forward knee. Take the stress off the joint, off the stretch and the joints. Walk the hand up, then push yourself up. Shift the weight back. Toe turns in, changing direction. Shift the weight. Toe turns out. I just check. Am I in a good position with my back foot? Do I need to bring it in a little bit, keep it higher and lighter? Am I going for a full stretch? And then begin to bend. I'm sitting onto the back leg. And that might be as far as you go. Maybe start there where your hands are somewhere on the thighs or the knees. Maybe you can go further down to the shin or ankle. Maybe you can reach the toe. Breathe into the belly. And then bend the forward knee. Take the weight off, take the strain off the stretch. Walk the hand up to the thigh or knee and push yourself up. Eventually be able to do that without the aid of the arms, but we want to be gentle and careful, be patient and kind. Sit back. So I'm sitting on the back leg is bent, the front leg is straight, and I only go as far as I can. Breathe into the belly. And if you can't hold it as long as me, then just bring yourself forward and up. And let's go ahead and do that, forward and up. Shift the weight, toe turns in. Shift the weight, toe turns out. I'm seated onto the back leg. My front leg is straight, but I haven't locked my knee joint back. And then I just support myself and go only as deep as I can. Breathe into the belly. And then bend the forward knee and come up. Okay, shake it out. Shake a leg. All right, this next little set called crane stretching, crane stretches. Think of a big, tall, graceful bird. And in a lot of the Kung Fu systems, they would observe the natural environment and the animal kingdom and emulate and take on some of their predatory and defensive characteristics. So, and also taking on the nature of that animal's movement and muscular control and their tendencies. So this is using the crane. And here we go. Exhale. Breathe, gather, and let it go. Now we're going to bring the toes out. Breathe in. Heels out, breath out. I'm widening my stance. Moving into what we call a horse stance. Maybe you can go a little wider. Maybe you're wide enough already. Gather. Heels out, feet parallel. Exhale. I don't want to be so wide I can't move. This could be a good stretch, but not good for mobility. And we're letting the exhale go. Relax the breath. We'll do without the controlled breathing at the moment. We're going to gather from the sides, straighten the legs, but without locking the joints. Match up the palms above the head, connecting the palms and the fingers, a light bend in the knees, and then gently arc back. So only go as far as you can, mindful of your balance in your spine. Breathe into the belly. It's going to help to open you up, strengthen your core, and then sit. Let the head and chest come up, let the elbows come forward. We're going to reach up once again. I'm going to lengthen all the way, but without locking the joints back, without locking in. I want to keep them open, keep the blood and energy flowing. Now I'm going to bend at the waist and rotate in the hips and come down into a stretch. Maybe you can't reach the ground and you stay higher instead of going all the way down. Just support yourself on your thighs. Maybe your arms hang and that's comfortable enough. Maybe you can reach the ground. Maybe you find, okay, now that I'm down here, I can go a little wider. Maybe adjust your stance out, but not too far that your hips are locked. Breathe into the belly and stretch. And try to let your thigh muscles relax once you're down there and breathing in and out. See if you can let your legs relax a little bit into it. And sit. Walk the hands up to the thighs one at a time. Use your arms, not your lower back, to press yourself up. You might find that maybe you've gotten a little too wide and bring it in. We're going to take one arm and cross over towards the opposite shoulder. The other hand is going to come around to the opposite hip. And then now I'm going to shift my weight to where my arms are. So once again, I come over and then under. My back toe turns in, my front toe turns out. And now I'm going into that long lunging bow and arrow, but you could still keep it easier, higher, and lighter. So only go as far as you can. And then open up the arms. So whatever leg you have forward. I also do things like a mirror, so you should be able to, hopefully over time, be able to follow me. If I go this direction, you also go that direction. My front leg is bent, but my knee isn't past my big toe. I can do that. I can stretch that far, but I don't want to do that too much. Same side arm is out with the palm up. Back leg, toes turned in. I don't have it turned to the side. Can dig into my ball of my foot and my heel if I need to. My arm is behind me and down, palm down. Opening up, imagine a graceful, tall bird stretching its wings. Now, shift the weight back. I'm going to turn my front toe in a little bit. And I'm going to adjust my back toe so my toe actually turns out. So both of my toes turn out a little bit. My front hand comes over my face. My back hand reaches under toward my opposite hip. And then sit back. And that might be as far as you go. You sit back and that's comfortable enough. Maybe that's too long. Make the adjustment. And if you can, go down, but only as deep as you can. Cross the arms, back arm comes over, forward arm comes under, and then open up and press forward. Stretch into that forward leg once again. Changing direction. My front hand comes over my face, protects my face and neck as I turn. My back toe turns in on the heel. My front toe turns out. I've primed up my wings and now I open them up. So whatever side you're on, forward knee is bent, but not past the big toe. All right, I could do that for a stretch, but if I really want a longer stretch, I need to step a little further. Forward arm, same side arm as the leg that's forward. Palm is up. Back side arm, arrow leg arm, palm is down. So just imagine something's coming at your head, maybe a kick. Shift your weight back and block it. Toe turns in. I can turn my toe out or bring my heel in, depending on how long my stance is. So I've evaded what's coming at my head. I sit back, and only if I can, I press down. Lion leg stance or low bow drawing stance. Only as deep as you can. Cross the arms and lunge forward. Bring it to the center. Something's coming up my sides. First of all, I'm in a horse stance, so it's like you're on top of a horse. Feet are equidistant from the center beneath your spine. My elbows drop down, protect my sides. My arms swing down to protect my side and legs. Winding up the hands, palms forward. Palm block to the front. Match up the palms and press down. Match at the back of the hands, fingertips point towards the earth and towards the groin, the belly, the chest, the head, and open up. Wrap my fingertips into my palms and make a fist. My thumbs come in last. And then as I rise up, I pull into lower chamber. The fist is resting on the side of the hips, and I keep a bend in my knees. So I'm not all the way up. If I was riding on a horse, I'd want a little shock absorber. Now I'll go into the other side, and you might find that you've had enough already. And you take a rest, you take a break. That's okay. My arm comes across and under. So I get myself ready, block and hit. Come over the top and under. And then here's where I'm going, to the side. So my toe turns in the direction I'm going. Back toe turns in, and my front toe turns in the direction I'm going. Maybe I'm too long. And I bring it in a little bit. Open up. Crane stretches. Front leg, knee bent, but not past the big toe. Back knee is bendable, and the toe is turned in. Front leg, same side arm is out, palm up. Back leg, arrow leg, palm down. And let's go through a couple moves. I'm going to wind up my hands, I'm going to block, I'm going to chamber, and then open up. Block, and open up. Block, and open up. Breathe into the belly. Block, and open up. And now imagine something's coming at your head. Sit back. My front toe turns in a little bit. My back toe turns out a little bit, but not quite as far. I evade what's coming at me, and my arm clears. And then sit back, and maybe that's as far as you go, or you come back and down, only as far as you can. Then press forward, cross the arms, and push off the earth. All right, so if we see that all the way through, I sit back or back and down, and then I push through and hit. Change direction. My front arm's going to cross over my body, protect my face and neck, my blind spot. My front toe turns towards the direction I'm moving, so it turns in, or now to the opposite side. Front toe turns out, and open up the arms. My arrow leg is straight, but my leg isn't locked all the way back. Front knee is bent, but not past the big toe. Same side leg, arm is out, palm is up. Back leg, arm is back, palm is down. Breathe into the belly. Cross the arms, block. Chambering, readying this lower arm. So when I open up, I'm gonna let my hips and shoulders move together, getting a little bit of action in my core. I block, hit. If I had 2 sticks or 2 swords in my hands, they'll travel parallel to each other, so I can easily take care of business without cutting myself or hitting myself. Could make a fist, could hit with a fist. We're using the crane's wing. And now imagine something's coming at you. Sit back, evade, clear it. Anything's coming in, block it off. Both of my toes are turned out a little bit. I only go as deep as I can. Over time, you'll find out just how far apart your legs need to be, your body. Cross the arms, press forward and up. So if we take that through as one motion, I sit back, I adjust my feet, I get away, maybe I can go down further, maybe not. I block my face as I come up, and that lower arm comes up for a hit. Bring it to the center, feet parallel, horse stance. I block the sides. Wind up the palms. We'll go into this movement a little bit greater detail soon. I block down, fingertips come up, open up, roll the fingertips into the palm, thumbs go over the top and last, and then rise into what we call high horse, where my knees are still bent, but I'm not into a parallel to the ground, deep press. I'm higher, easier for mobility, and let's open up the arms. You might find that you need to have your hands on your hips instead. This is an additional level of training, is to engage the arms as well. Not locked, not shoulders lifted, shoulders dropped, elbows dropped a little bit. Sometimes you'll see us in different hand postures, or just open palms, or you can make a fist. Outside whip. So we're going to come in. So I'm coming from the outside in. Bring the knee up. Like a little wall is there. You're going to step over the wall and then plant your foot to the side. Something's coming at me. I evade, get out of the way. My knee comes up, whips out, deflects the kick or whatever's coming at me, and I land and root. I come out of the way. This is an outside whip because I'm coming from the inside of my body, moving out. Later on, this becomes a knee strike. But for now, I just want to lift my foot, my toes up, and I want to get over that little wall. Now I have my legs on both sides of the wall. I'm on one side of the wall. I come up and over and plant down. So I want to engage my core, my balance, and we'll move slow at first. And slow oftentimes is actually a little more difficult. You no longer have momentum working for you. Coming up and over and out and down. So right now we're using the horse stance just as a practice position, and we could definitely use the knee whip or the outside whip from a horse stance, but also could be from other postures and positions. The main idea here is that my arms are occupied or my leg is closer, and I can whip the leg and the knee to deflect something that's coming at my lower body, my belly. And let's begin our set. So you might need to rest your arms, shake it out, breathe for a moment. Maybe you have to hold your arms lower. We could also get some conditioning in and hit our leg against our arms. Pull that into it later on. Only do as many as you can, moving with me. And begin. 1, 2, up and over 3, in, up and over 4, in, up and over 5, come in and whip 6, knee comes up and whips out 7, comes in, comes out and over 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, your knee might get as high as your throat. 4, 5, only do what you can. 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Shake it out for a moment, catch your breath. Use the cleansing breath to ready ourselves and to recover. Breathe in and out. Feel my heartbeat, my breath. Gather my breath and let it go. If you've ever been winded, you know what that feels like, or had the wind knocked out of you. Short of breath. We want to slow down the breath. Even if we're moving fast, we want to control and connect to the breath, conscious breathing. And now an inside whip. Come from the outside of my body and whipping in. Something's coming at me, I bring my knee up and then whip across, deflecting it off to the side. I come down, feet towards each other together, and then open back up. So this time I'm coming up and in, down and out. So my legs are already on either side of this little wall, and now I want to get both feet onto the same side. So I'm going to bring my foot up, and I really need to flex my heel and my toe, flex my foot, my toe pointed up so I can clear that wall. I don't bang my toe on it. I come up, across, down, and out. Inside whip. I come up and whip across my body, down and back out. Whip across the body. And again, later on, this will become a knee strike, but for now, we're using the whip to clear our space, to protect our groin, our legs. Sometimes blocking a leg is faster and effective. So come in, down, and out. So we're doing slow motion. I come up, in, down, and out. Breathe into the belly. Come up, across, down, and out. And your might not be as wide in your stance. Your knee might not go up as high. You might do only half of the repetitions or just a few. Always take it to what's right for you. Moving with me. Inside whip coming from the outside in or towards our center line. So I'm coming from the outside in towards my center line, or an outside movement. I'm coming from my center and moving out. So I'm coming in. And ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, coming up across 7, down and back out 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. And shake it out. Adjusting our breath. Exhale. Gather. And release. If you can't breathe through your nose, breathe like sipping through a straw, slowing down the breath. Slowing down the intake, gathering more oxygen, hold it for a moment, and cleanse, release. Let it go. One more big deep breath. And relax. Breathe into the belly. Just let the body, mind, nervous system settle. Shake it out a little bit. Shake a leg, step in place. But this level of activity, for some of you, it's a walk in the park. It's easy. And for some of you, it's pretty challenging. So just take it at the way that's right for you. And in that same notion, we want to do some movement sometime again today, some light stretching, so that whatever muscles we worked out and tendons we stretched, that we have a chance to help them stay loose. If you have lactic acid buildup and your muscles get tight, you're going to want to not move, because that's going to feel like it's going to feel better to not move. But actually, you want to do whatever you can to move within reason. What's good for your body, what level of stretching and movement, go for a little walk. Just do something to keep your body moving. And just like anything else we do, take it at your own pace. Let it absorb, let it come in the timing and way that's right for your body. And shake it out. And gather the breath. And release. Thank you for coming along for this little Kung Fu warm-up exercises. Over time, we'll actually get into some of the nitty-gritty of actually using some Kung Fu, developing punching and kicking and blocking and different types of techniques. So, we're just kind of getting warmed up here. That's typically what we just did will condense to a smaller period of time, but I wanted to give you time to warm up. So come back to this. If this was too much, maybe try the Tuesday morning Qigong and Tai Chi class. Got Zoom classes on my website, onpathhealingarts.com. I'm Andy Barkworth, Sifu Andy. Sifu is kind of like sensei, Chinese word for teacher. And thanks for coming along. Namaste. Xie xie.